Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to the library. Today we are actually talking about library stuff for once. Yay! We're going to talk about my goals for the rest of this school year. So it's January. I realized that literally for my job, not just for my YouTube channel, I really need to figure out what projects need to be finished by the end of the year that I've already started, as well as what new projects I need to start and get finished by the end of the year. So one of our massive projects that we have been doing is weeding. We are weeding hundreds. Right now we've weeded over 400 books, but the goal is to weed even more because in a year and a half we're getting a new school building, and I don't want to move a bunch of books that never get checked out, because a lot of books we have duplicate copies of because we used to have a school called the 9th grade school, and they had their own copies of books. We had our own copies of books. When the schools combined together, we got all of their books. So now we wound up with like 2 copies of the same book, and that book like never gets checked out. So why would we want 2 copies that never get checked out? But thank goodness I have a lady who is helping me with this. She is a former librarian, and she is here as like a long-term sub for a teacher who left. So part of the day she is in here with me, and she has been doing the entire weeding project for me. So she has weeded all those. I take no credit. She did like 400 plus books. So now the goal is also figuring out what to do with those books. We have quite a few ideas. We just have to kind of get them, approved by the school board. Another goal I have is to organize all of the paperwork and everything in my office, and in maybe even a couple of the little side rooms like off of the library. I've been working on this already. I got a pretty good start. I need to do a lot more, especially when it comes to the paperwork and my drawers. Those are kinds of things I know that could be done on even like when we have NTI days where the students aren't here, but if teachers are still working, if there's not like too much snow or something, I could come to school and work on that, because it's definitely easier to do when I don't have classes or anything, obviously. But next week I'll even have some time where I don't have classes that I might try to work on that. But I was really inspired to do this by was her name Marie Kondo? Yeah, she wrote that Japanese Art of Tidying Up thing, and I absolutely love that book. It changed my life. So I am not only doing the tidying up at home, but also now at school. Another project that I want to start and finish, but I can't do it till the end of the year, but I can at least prep it earlier and then finish it later at the end of the year, is I want to number every book in a series. So we have lots of books in series, obviously, because like fantasy, sci-fi, a lot of those are in a series, but the students don't know which ones are which. So just an example, this is Scythe, and it's the first in a series, and if you were to pick it up, you would have no idea. Like, it doesn't say book 1 on the side, it doesn't say it here. If you open the front cover, there's nothing. So students would not know what book this is like in the series. But what our former librarian did is she also did not put it on the outside of the book. Like, this is another series by Neal Shusterman called I guess it's called Unwind. I don't know if that's the name of the series, but anyway, this is the first one of like at least 4 books. And what she did is she cut out, can you see that? She cut out just little pieces of paper where she typed up what books are in the series in that order and put them inside the front cover. But a lot of students don't know it's there. So if they don't know it's there, they don't know to look because they're just looking on the outside of the book. And also trying to remember to do this every time a new book comes out in a series. So yeah, if a new book comes in, I could put that it's like number 3, but then do I have to go back to numbers 1 and 2 and put this in there so it now includes number 3? It would be a lot. So I think what makes way more sense would be, I've seen a lot of libraries do this, is to put a sticker here that says, 1, 2, 3, whatever, right? And so we need to do that. But the problem is we can't do it until we get all the books in, or I think it'd be way too hard. So I think what we'll do is we'll wait till we do library inventory the last few weeks of school, and then I'll have my library TAs and the lady that's been helping me too, of course, like I said, that was a former librarian. I'm gonna have them go through and see if it's in a series, which is gonna take some time because they're probably gonna have to, if they're not sure that it's in a series, but it might be, if they see books by the same author there, but they're not positive, they're gonna have to look it up, right? They're gonna have to look on Goodreads, or they're gonna have to look inside the book to see if it says like other books in the series here at the beginning or whatever. So it will be kind of a lengthy process that I'll have to probably get set up, and I can print out the stickers and figure out what color they're gonna be and how we're gonna stick them on. Are we gonna use the little label covers, all that sort of stuff. So I can do that earlier on, and then at the end of the year, I wanna get those stuck on. So that way at the beginning of the school year next year, it's ready to go. My next goal is to do more displays. So I'll show you one that we've been doing. So for example, this is our little Valentine's Day books right here. There's literally only a spot for 9. And over here is anti-Valentine's Day books with a spot for 9. These have been checked out like a lot. We also made this awesome sign. My TAs did this. I take no credit. For books of TikTok, right? So you've got your Colleen Hoovers, your Heartstoppers, like all the popular books, Evelyn Hugo, Court of Thorns and Roses, all the ones Shatter Me that you see on TikTok. And the big sign has really convinced people to come over here and check out this display. So my goal is to do more like that, because I feel like that's the way that books are getting checked out, is when we put them on display facing outward, which is another good reason that we're weeding, because the more books we weed, the more room on the shelves we have to actually turn some of the books facing outward, and they're not just jam-packed full, which is what they previously were. Hopefully we can do little displays on the shelves themselves and do more of what's called dynamic shelving instead of static shelving, which I want to film a whole other video about. Oh, and that was one of my goals too, is more dynamic shelving. So those are the big projects. If I get time, I would like to look into this co-op idea for next year, where we would have seniors who are college ready and have room in their schedule, which is tough because they gotta have like 2 free class periods, so they have to have like all their credits, that they would go over to one of the elementary or middle schools and basically be like a library aide for a couple periods of the day. I think that would be really cool, because those librarians need a lot of help. A lot of times they're asked to teach classes, they're in charge of their school's technology, and they don't have time to do even just things like shelving books, let alone creating library programs and reading to students. So I think that'd be really cool, but we've got to figure out like how to classify the class like in the system to make it a class to count for credit or something. I don't know. Anyway, there's a teacher at another school that does this, or a librarian at another school nearby that does this, and they actually count hers for college credit. They somehow go through a college and they get college credit for it. It's an actual college class. So like some sort of library science class. So I need to check into that. I need to email her. And then also, if I get time, I'd like to start filming some clips for like First Chapter Fridays, where I read like the first chapter of a book, because I'd like to send it to teachers and say, hey, if you have time on Fridays and you want to show one of these, feel free. Or if I'm out because my baby is sick a lot, I was just out like 2 days ago because he had pink eye again, then I'll have a backlist of those like ready to go, like a catalog of them, and then I can just show them whenever I'm out if there's students coming, and that way that doesn't mess up with the teacher's plans and they'll still have some activity to do. Or I could just show it, you know, one to each class here and there. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But I think if I just have them already filmed, then I can figure out what to do with them. So those are some goals I have for the end of the year. Obviously there's like little stuff too, but those are like the big projects that need to get done. So I wrote them down on just this little piece of paper, and I'm gonna put this beside my computer so that I have to stare at it all day. So that way I'm like focused on these things and I stay, you know, on task. All right guys, so thank you so much for watching. Yeah, and I will see you again soon. Bye.